Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live. And if you're catching this later on and you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and keep up with the content and check out my playlists. Who am I and what do I do here? So my name's Ian and I'm a Reiki teacher, meditation teacher. I also practice hypnotherapy, EFT, Indian head massage, and I also do personal training and coaching. So you probably think, well, wow, that's a bit of a mix. And yeah, it is a bit of a mix, but for me, it's kind of like the full package. It's the mind, body, spirit connection that we're working with to bring harmony, to bring balance. And that being said, today I wanted to talk all about chakras and how they interplay into our lives. And chakras, I've got a chakra wisdom deck here, so I'm going to pull a few just to give you a little bit of an idea of what kind of things we're working with the chakra energy. So, what's this card here? So, you've got obviously in your physical body, the 7 main chakras that we do tend to cover, but the physical body, the human body, has over 100 chakras in the physical body. And we also have some external chakras as well, which are actually within the etheric field and the astral realm and the astral field in our auras. But today we're just going to discuss the main 7 chakras in the body. So you've got the main 7 that we're talking about is the root chakra, which is at the base of the spine, which most people know about. The second chakra, which is the sacral, which is about 2 inches below your navel. You've got your third chakra, which is your solar plexus, which is just about here, where the ribs meet, just below the ribs. And then you've got the fourth chakra, which is your heart. Fifth is your throat. The sixth is your third eye. And the seventh is your crown, which is at the very top of the head. So I've got, like I say, I've got a few cards here in this deck. So I'm just going to pull a couple of these cards just to give you an idea of what kind of like the energy of chakras is that we're working with. Hello. So this card that I've just got here is about the second chakra. So this is obviously to do with your sacral chakra. And what this card is saying here, basically what I do with these cards is that I tend to give them to people as a sort of like a bit of a guidance thing for them to take from their in-person treatments with me. And they basically give you a little bit of guidance of maybe what you need to work with on that chakra. So your second chakra is also obviously your sacral chakra, which is to do with kind of like a little bit of your personal power. It's to do with your sexuality, it's to do with abundance, and it's to do with your creative energy as well. But this card here is saying, I avoid continually sacrificing my own happiness for others by rescuing and enabling them, as doing this may hinder personal growth for both of us. I choose not to be a martyr. I am not a mentor nor a rescuer. I do not assume that everyone wants my opinions and solutions to their life challenges, and if I am in doubt, I will ask them. I take responsibility for my own happiness. And that's a big part of it, is trying to find your own happiness in where you are. So the sacral chakra is all to do with you and where you are in your own life, and it's basically what makes you you. So your root chakra is all to do with, which is the base of the spine, that's all to do with your security. It's your grounding, it's your personal security, it's your stability, it's where you are. And most people have something going on with the root chakra because we're all being thrown into different things at different points, and we're never constantly always feeling, I suppose, totally safe, because there's always something that's going to kind of make you feel a bit like you might be loss of a job, loss of a relationship, someone passing away, all that sort of stuff. it affects your root chakra, it affects your stability, it makes you feel slightly insecure. And that's what your root chakra is all about. It's all to do with your security. Like I said before, your sacral, all to do with sexuality, creativity, and abundance and who you are. Your third chakra, your solar plexus, that is all about your personal power. It's about empowerment. It's about moving forward. It's about your own personal growth, and basically just being quite confident within yourself, but obviously not cockily confident, but just, you know who you are, you're aware of yourself, and you've got your own personal strength and power, and that's what your solar plexus is all to do with. I'm going to get more into the physical later on with this chat as well, about how these chakras actually interplay with the physical body. And then you've got your heart chakra, which is obviously for a lot of people is to do with love, to do with compassion, to do with joy. It's about being receptive of love, but also being able to give love as well. Becky, hi. Sonia, hi, welcome. Then we've got the throat chakra, which is all to do with obviously communication, and being able to speak, but also being able to listen as well, and listen to the communication. Because sometimes if you've got issues with communication, you might not want to hear what other people have got to say. That again is going to affect your throat chakra, or other connections to communication, which obviously E is for listening. Then you've got your third eye chakra, which is in the middle of the brain, and that is to do with intuition, foresight, dreams, visuals, imagination, all that sort of like wonderful spiritual stuff that we like to work with, your clairvoyance and what have you. You are very, very welcome. And then we've got crown chakra, top of the head. Thank you for the Hindu poster. You're very, very welcome. Where's the audience participation? The speaking. You're Hindu. Well, welcome. And then obviously the crown chakra at the very top of the head is all to do with kind of like universal angelic realm, the connection to your higher self, connection to dreams, and dream state, and working on the higher realms of energy. So obviously we have these 7 chakras, the main 7 chakras within us, but they also sort of expand into your aura as well. So sometimes if you can see auras, you may be able to see various colours. A little bit like when you're receiving healing or some sort of energy healing, you might be aware of colours. Same in meditation, you might see colours, and usually these colours attribute to the chakras, and there's some level of healing that's taking place there, and that's my interpretation of it anyway. But there's lots of different interpretations about that, and I don't know if any of them, if they're all right, if we're all wrong. Who knows? Like, who actually knows? But yeah, so obviously the chakras, where they are and the placements within the body, they also connect to the actual physical aspect of the body as well. So your root chakra, as well as being to do with sort of your grounding and your security, your mental emotional state, and obviously your spiritual state for grounding your spiritual energy, it's also to do with sort of like the lower part of your body. So I often find when I'm working with clients, if they do have any sort of like grounding issues, and there's usually have issues with hips, knees, feet, ankles, and root chakra also affects sort of like reproductive area, and the bowels and the intestines as well. A little bit same with the sacral, obviously to do with sexuality and creativity, more to do with your reproductive organs, kidneys, your bowels and intestines and all that sort of stuff. Solar plexus is to do with your stomach, your liver, your spleen, so all that sort of stuff around the middle of the body. Your heart, so it's not just your heart chakra, and not just your heart, but it's like your lungs, it's your upper back, it's the upper back behind, so it's the lungs at the back, Then your throat is all to do with obviously communication on that level, but also if you get regular throat infections, regular colds, if you're always having a sore throat, then there's issues with the throat chakra. And for instance, if I'm teaching a Reiki course, I usually find after 2 days of doing a Reiki course, I have a very, very sore throat because I don't normally talk that much. And that's because my throat chakra has been overactive. I've used it more than what I normally would. And that's why it becomes sore. Again, and then third eye, so we're in the head, but if it's not operating optimally, then you might not be able to visualize, you might have not much dream state, you might not be very clear sort of like with any sort of clairvoyant ability or anything like that, or any sort of foresight. You might not be very intuitive. It might just sort of like just be quite cynical as well. And that's pretty much the same with the crown chakra as well. And you just have a disconnect for anything of a spiritual nature, because you're more inclined to just be within the physical realm, and that's also fine as well. So it affects us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, all of these energy centers. As Sonia rightly said there, Sonia sees colours a lot during meditation and during Reiki treatments. I tend to see colours quite a lot as well, and I'll see people and faces, and I'll just see different things either when I'm meditating or when I'm trying to get to sleep, or when I'm having Reiki from another Reiki practitioner. I tend to see something. I usually am quite visual. So where do we go from here? So chakras. So obviously it's a Hindu philosophy, but it has been stemmed into other aspects, little bits of Buddhism as well, and touch on chakras slightly. We do talk about chakras a little bit in Reiki, because as Reiki became more westernized, the chakra system was used for like hand positions and hand placements, just for like kind of like learn about like the hands on the body, the the healing hands connection, understanding energy, feeling the energy, working with those various points. And then as you go on your journey, you tend to be a little bit more kind of maybe just follow more of an intuitive path, or you can stay with the hand positions as well. At the end of the day, the Reiki is going to go where it needs to, so we're not in control of the energy. But yeah, so we do touch on them on a little bit in Reiki circles when we talk about chakras. In Japan, with regards to chakras, they tend to mainly work with the hara, which is like the sacral, the heart, and then the third eye, and that's the main points that they use. But they don't. I don't think they call them Dharma. Oh, I think they use the term Dharma chakras in Buddhism. Off the top of my head, what I'm trying to remember. Dharma meaning kind of like universal law, God. But they are a very, very interesting philosophy, and there's a lot of people that kind of like talk about different things to do with chakras. There's a lot of people that talk about having like blockages or overactive or underactive chakras. There's other people that say that maybe sometimes they have chakras missing, or they've been for a healing session and the chakras have been left open. There's a lot of different concepts do get thrown around, and for me, I don't really go with a lot of it. At the end of the day, the chakras are they're kind of like within your physical body, and they're part of your nervous system. So when you're having healing, and when you're in meditation, if you're getting some Reiki or anything like that, when you're having some healing, then you're calming your nervous system down. And as you calm your nervous system down, what then happens is your energy flows a little bit easier, a bit freer. You're not as uptight, you're not as like tense, you're not as stressed. So you're just able to just let go. And as you let go with the intention within your mind, as your mind relaxes, so too your body relaxes, and all the fascia, all the nerves in the nervous system, it all starts to relax, and that's when your energy starts to flow better. So that's when you sometimes experience maybe little twitches, little signs. You might feel tingles. You might feel sort of shooting energy. Sometimes you can feel that moving down the legs and down the arms, and it's just your energy just sort of like waking up a little bit, but it's never stuck, it's never blocked, it's never stopped. Energy is constantly flowing. So there's a lot of different concepts that are out there about energy, and I'm not here to sort of knock anyone's opinions, but whatever they think is what they think. But just what I believe, where I am currently, I don't believe really that energy is ever stuck. It's always in motion. Sometimes it might not flow as freely because of trauma, because of mental health, because of your emotional state, whatever it might be. But it will eventually become righted. But it's never constantly. It's never like stuck as such. And a lot of what I feel and think now is the majority of it is all to do with your mental state and your mental and emotional state. There was a post recently on Facebook, and someone was saying in that about how they wanted to send some Reiki to a certain situation because they had all of this resentment and they feel that it's blocking their chakras. And for me, that was like, aha. So I commented and I just said, the reason why you're feeling the blockage, even though there's not really a blockage there, is because you're holding on to resentment. And as a Reiki practitioner, I just advise them to go back to their Reiki principles, back to their Reiki precepts, which is to let go, basically. Let go of the resentment, let go of the anger, let go of the worry, let go of all the negative stuff that you're holding on to, and then you will feel more of a flow in life, in your own energy, and in your own mental and emotional state as well. I'm so glad I had that Reiki session with you. My focus has been great. Oh, excellent. Good. I'm glad that's helped and given you a little bit more, a bit more focus, a bit more direction. Did you see? Yeah, you saw that on Facebook. Yeah, I tend to. There's a lot of groups as well which they do share a lot of strange, like people ask a lot of strange questions with regards to Reiki and using Reiki and how to use it, and I just think sometimes what are these people being taught? What information are they being given? Because sometimes it's a little bit kind of like, it almost feels as though they're a little bit left high and dry. And as a Reiki teacher, and I'm sure hopefully Sonia will say this as well, but I try to always be there for my Reiki students. So, because Sonia is one of mine, and I try to be as supportive as possible. And if anybody ever needs to know anything, and if I'm not sure, I will try and find out. But that's the role of a Reiki teacher, is to be there through the journey of the students, of the students that have learned Reiki through you. And if they don't know something, then you should be the one that they're coming to. The question is, do they do a course online? Well, this is the next thing that I'm coming to as well. So a lot of courses that you do see, and people seem to want to learn as quickly as possible, and sort of disregard the whole respectful side of Reiki and the many things that we need to uphold within Reiki. People tend to just want to push that aside and learn as much about Reiki as possible, and as quickly as possible as well. So they tend to lose a lot of the actual depth of philosophy behind what it is, why it works, why it's so effective, and why people have found it to be so beneficial for their overall health. So yeah, online courses are not something that I condone. I always try to say to people, if you want to learn Reiki, try and find a Reiki teacher near you and go and have some sessions with them first. See if you connect, if you're on the same vibrational sort of frequency, if you sort of get each other's vibe, and usually you can tell if someone's gonna be right for you or not, and if they're not, find another one. I do find as well over time that I've seen where people have taught a course with a teacher and they've never really felt right. It's never seemed to have fitted well, and that's affected obviously their learning. It's affected the course. It's affected their teaching as well. So getting the right teacher is really, really important. And I mean, when you're learning online, who are you learning with? You don't really get to see anyone or connect with anyone. It's all just downloaded information, maybe with a few videos or whatever. So yeah, so just be mindful of that and be careful of that. So getting back to chakras. So you'll often see them. I haven't got a picture around here. I've got this coaster here with the Reiki principles on, but you'll often see them in red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, and purple. And that tends to be the colours of how they're displayed as well, the chakras. So that's how you will see them. And they again, we were talking about colours before, they tend to be the colours people tend to see. The most popular colours that people tend to see is usually green, purple, yellow, and sometimes white as well. White I interpret again as sort of crown chakra or that sort of energy. Where did I get the coaster from? My Reiki teacher bought it for me. So when we met up just before Christmas, and he had that for me. So I don't know where he got it from. Probably off Amazon or something like that. But he got that for me, as well as there was a couple of other things he got me as well. He got me like a little, there was some lavender seeds to plant, for a lavender plant. There was a little candle, and there was something else. I can't remember, but the coaster was one of them. But yeah, have a look. I mean, you can probably get them printed on somewhere like Shopify or Etsy or something like that as well. But no, it's nice. I like it. So I thought, well, I'll put it up here in my room with all my other bits and bobs. So chakras and crystals as well. So a lot of people tend to use crystals with chakras for what they deem to be like a chakra alignment or something like that. So you tend to match the coloured crystal with the chakra, but not always. I mean, I don't always do that. What I've done in the past, I don't really use crystals with clients as much now. I tend to use them more myself. But what I've done with clients in the past, when I've used crystals with them, is sometimes I might feel that maybe the root chakra, there's a lot of stuff going on in the life maybe, and they're a little bit anxious. So instead of using a red crystal, I might just think it needs a little bit of an energy boost or something like that. So I sometimes I'll put like a clear quartz on it, and it'll help to just amplify that energy and boost the energy a little bit. And same with things like, solar plexus chakra. A lot of people say, oh, well, you should put maybe like a lemon quartz or a citrine or like a yellow crystal on the solar plexus. And yeah, a lot of the time you probably would. But again, if you've got issues with confidence, but the confidence issues are coming from a lack of self-love, then maybe you need to put like a love crystal on the solar plexus. So maybe like a rose quartz, aventurine, jade, anything connected to the heart energy, use that on the solar plexus. So I try not to be too constrained with getting things to match, and I try to follow intuitively what I feel I need to do. I like to use selenite a lot. Yeah, selenite's nice, and selenite's a nice cleanser, a nice purifier. Um, yeah, it's something like for a long time I wasn't really drawn to, and then eventually I did sort of like get into it, and I started using it a little bit more, and I felt the benefit of selenite for various things and different things I was feeling. But when I first started using crystals, um, I don't like I say I don't use them as much now, but I do still use them. But when I was first sort of attracted to crystals, I used them quite a lot, and I would sit with a crystal and I would know exactly what it needed to do for me. I would feel something from it, and then I would visually see what it was going to do or how it was going to help me. So I used to find that really quite fascinating, and it used to sort of pull me in a little bit more, and I'd get really into it, and I would feel the deep effects of the crystal healing. It's like one time when I bought this piece of shungite from a local store, which isn't there anymore, and Guru it was called. Sonia will know which one I mean. And I got this piece of shungite from in there, and obviously a lot of people talk about shungite being good for protection, energy protection, energy clearance, grounding as well, but also good for EMF and Wi-Fi and things like that. So I got this piece of shungite, and I was just carrying it. I was taking it home. I was going home with it, and then I was getting this really powerful headache, really bad headache, as soon as I'd got this shungite. And I thought, is this... Instinctively, I just thought, this is the shungite sort of blasting all the sort of the negative Wi-Fi radiation away, and because I'm getting a headache because I'm not used to it, because we're always in this sort of like this toxic soup that we're always kind of like in, we're just existing within it. And I did used to always wonder, and I still wonder, like, what's it actually doing to people's bodies? This Wi-Fi, this radiation, this EMF. I mean, it affects bird flight, so what's it doing to us? So yeah. But I just found it really interesting when I got that piece of shungite, and straight away, as soon as I picked it up, I got this really intense headache. And then I got home, I sat down, and I just started using the shungite just on my third eye, on my temples, top of the head, back of the head, and within a few minutes the headache had just gone. So I do like to use shungite for headaches as well. So if you ever have any tension headaches, if you have a lot of stress at work, things like that, then have a piece of shungite, because it'll help to clear that, and it'll help to keep you grounded, it'll help to keep you focused, and it should help with your headaches and your migraines as well. I'm not saying it's a one-stop fix, but I do find it is very good at helping and alleviating that, and I continue to use it. I very rarely get headaches, but when I do, I will go straight to a piece of shungite and I'll use it, and it will be gone in minutes. It will be gone very quickly. So I always stick to that. Yeah, so there we go. I don't really have much more to say currently about chakras, but if anyone's got any questions, I know there's not many people in the chat. There's people coming and going, there's dropping in and dropping out, but it's a Saturday, so that's what I kind of expect. People are kind of like bored, and to be honest with you, I'm a little bit bored today. So I've tried to. I really want to do some painting again, but I can't think of what to paint. I just don't have any inspiration at the minute. And I tried to get some inspiration yesterday, and I was just getting a bit frustrated. So I played a bit of music, and I played a bit of guitar, and then I felt a little bit better. But I've got, again, chakra energy. I've got this creative energy that just wants to do something, but I don't know what to paint. I don't know what to do. Yeah, just let your hands do the work. I know that's that's what I keep thinking. Should I just go with the flow and just see what happens? But I'm kind of like torn. I'm making excuses really, but I'm kind of torn because I know, one, I need to do a workout as well because I've not worked out for weeks and weeks. I've not worked out for such a long time, like before Christmas now, and I need to get back into that. But at the minute, I just can't be bothered. I really can't be bothered. So I don't know. You know, it probably will turn out to be pretty good. You know, if I just go with the flow, like you say, and just see what happens, just see what comes out. Because I've enjoyed doing the flowers and I've enjoyed painting the flowers, but I don't want to just keep doing flowers all the time. I want to do something a little bit different. So I went on ChatGTP. I know I was just talking about AI yesterday, but I went on ChatGTP and I just asked that for some inspiration of what I should paint. And it gave me a few ideas, but nothing really inspired me as such. And I was just like, oh, I won't bother, I'll just leave it. So yeah, it's strange how we it comes in waves, and you have to kind of like sit with it and just see what you feel from it. And like, part of me, like what you say, Sonia, part of me is saying just do it, just start, and then whatever will be, and whatever you need will come out. But it's just getting in the zone with it. It's like when I was downstairs, like just this afternoon, I was playing a little bit guitar and playing along to some music, and I just wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't in the zone. So yeah, I think there's a lot of people like that at the minute, where they just can't really, like, if I'm going to do a meditation, then I'm usually pretty good. I can usually focus, and I can usually keep my presence in the meditation. But when it comes to doing something like this, this is something that I've always said. I'm very, very bad at things like procrastination. I'm always umming and ahhing and what have you. And your body is telling you to have a day off. Well, yeah, and I think that's why I'm kind of like resisting. I'm just trying to like just be. You know, that's what I'm trying to do. You know, that's what I keep telling everybody else to do. Just be. So, yeah. So I just thought I'd just come on, do a live for a bit and ramble for a little bit and maybe talk about whatever and see who joins and chat away and yeah. But what I might do is I might get a sketch pad and I might just start doing a little bit of sketching and just see what comes out and see if it sort of inspires any ideas, and then that might give me some impetus to sort of like push through this thing. But then the other thing as well that I often find is when you do actually do some exercise, you do a workout, and you shift that energy, you get the inspiration from actually doing something, from the movement, from not just sort of sitting and stagnating and procrastinating, but actually just getting up and doing it and moving actually gives you that push of energy that you need. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, that's another way of working with your chakra energy, is just sitting with it, you know, and being aware of where it is in your body, what you're feeling. And you usually find when it's something on an emotional level, you usually find it's usually in the belly, because your belly is kind of like your it's like your cauldron of stuff that's just building up, churning and bubbling away. And that's why they call, you know, your stomach, it's like your second brain, or it's your emotional center. And that's your solar plexus and your sacral, because it's just churning away all those different emotions. And that's as well, because the solar plexus is connected like to the liver as well, that's also helping to process and cleanse and clear a lot of the emotional stuff, but also the physical stuff that you need to detoxify from the body. So there's a lot that goes into it, and as I mentioned before, the chakras are all connected to your nervous system, and they run off the spine into your main organs through all the fascia and the tissue and what have you. And I think that gets forgotten about a little bit, and people tend to just think of it as like this mystical energy system, which it is on one side, but on the other side, it's also very physical. It's connected to your mind-body connection. And when we're doing the work, when we're sitting in the meditation, when we're tuning into the body, and we're like, right, where am I feeling that? What is it? What's the emotion that's coming from it? And trying to understand it and learn about it and talk to it and release it. That's where a lot of the inner work comes from when you're working with your chakra energy to try and understand your energy body. And that's kind of like when I'm doing hypnotherapy, when I'm doing EFT, sometimes as well, occasionally, not very often, when I'm doing a bit of Reiki and somebody feels something in the body or they feel an emotion, I'll ask them just to be aware where it is in the body. I'll ask them to give me a colour for it, or does it have a meaning? Does it have a relevance? What's the emotion that's tied with it? And I'll do some visualization, maybe a bit of breath work with them to help them push through it and work through it a little bit. And again, like I said, that could be in the hypnotherapy, in the EFT, in the Reiki, or in a combination of treatments as well. So it's never kind of like a one. It's never kind of like a one thing fix. There's a multitude of things that we can do to work with that emotional energy that might be trapped in the body or in that chakra point. Howard, welcome. Nice to see you. Much love, brother. How are you? How are you keeping? How are you doing today? What have you been up to? I've also got my mother-in-law got me a couple of new gadgets for Christmas, so I've got an engraver to try and figure out and work with to do some bits, and I've also got a pyrography tool to do some wood burning. I do have a plug-in pyrography tool, but it's not very good, and it doesn't seem to burn the wood very well, whereas this one, it's I think it's got like a flammable thing. It's cordless, so it's got like a flammable thing on, so hopefully it'll work a little bit better. Butane, I think it's like a butane thing, I think. Doing well, and you're eating your dinner. Oh, nice. What are you having? What are you having for dinner? I had a nice salad for my lunch today. And then I've got sausage and mash for tea. Sausage, mash and veg for tea if I'm hungry enough. I'm not really that hungry yet. And I've also baked a banana bread as well today. That's something else I did. I did bake a banana bread, but I think it's been in the oven a little bit long. It's a little bit crispy around the edges, but I'm sure it'll be all right. I'm sure it'll be fine. The last banana loaf that I made, I actually, I think I made it just before Christmas, and we had a bit of cream in, and I put it in the microwave, warmed it up, and put a bit of cream over it. Oh, it was very nice, lovely. You'll have to show us when you use them. I will. I'll actually use them on a live, so I'll show you them here. So this is the engraver. It's got like a protective tip on there at the minute, but it's a pluggy in one. And so I need to read the instructions and get to grips with that and understand how that works. But yeah, she just sort of envisaged me on like a stall or something like that and doing personalised engravings for people, which I thought was really canny. And you can do it on wood, metal, glass, plastic and ceramics. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I just have to be careful with it. And then we've got the other one, which is multifunctional butane soldering iron, which has got all the different tips in. You can use it for soldering, for melting, for cutting, for shrinking, for pyrography, and to remove paint as well. So very, very multifunctional. So there we go. Yeah. So yeah, once I get going with them and I know how to work them, and I'm not going to blow things up, I will have a go on a YouTube live and show you what I've been messing with and dabbling with. Maybe have to go doing some new these, because my friend Yvonne up in Scotland, she made this for me. Let's see if I can take it off the table. She made this for me, which is I've blue tacked to the table, but it's an outline of the human form, and that's what I use sometimes for distance Reiki. Or if I don't use this, I use Herbert the teddy bear, who is just there behind me. But I used to use this one quite a lot. I used to use like an outline quite a lot, and I used to put like the crystals and stuff on the chakra points down the physical body when I was doing the distance energy, and obviously with the intention, and setting the intention for those crystals to do whatever the client needed assistance with. Then I would ask for the crystals to do that. But I mean, to be honest with you now, this room's getting that busy and that cluttered with that much stuff. I could do with either a bigger room, a bigger house, or a second desk. So, and then I've got more space to spread out. I've got a desk to do art, and I've got a desk to do the distance healing as well. But hey ho, it is what it is for the time being. So there we go. You would order one off me. Oh well, I'll keep that in mind. I do have some pieces of hardboard downstairs, but I read somewhere that you shouldn't do pyrography on hardboard because the fumes that come off it are carcinogenic. So yeah, my friend that did it, she used like a machine. So she has like a plug-in wood burner. You plug it into the laptop, you program the design that you want to go on to the wood or whatever it is, and then it would just do it. It would just print it, and that's how she did it. But she said she always had the window open, just to let all the fumes and stuff go out off the wood, because I suppose it can get a little bit smelly. So yeah. But there we go. So, what's going on? Yeah, so there we go. So it's been a relatively quiet, sedate live again, hasn't it? I think we must have all the people that we used to have coming on the lives a long time ago, coming in and causing havoc. They seem to have fled or been blocked, or they're not here, or yeah, so that's a good thing. That's a positive thing. Touch wood, fingers crossed and all that. Yeah, so I think I'll head off, and I think I'll do a little bit of sketching, and I'll see what comes out, and then maybe next time I do a live, I don't know when I'm going to do a live next, because next week I'm doing full-time hours because one of the staff's off. So I'm going to be doing a lot of work next week. So yeah, I might not be on for a while for a live. It might be next weekend before I get back on. I'll see. I did. I had 20 people in at one point, and I think it's just people that just sort of like are just scrolling through either. And I'll go and answer this call, and I will see you all in the near future very soon. I do have some videos scheduled to come out over the next few weeks as well, so keep your eyes peeled for them, some new meditation videos, and I will see you all soon. So much love, take care, toodaloo for now, and thank you for being here. Bye bye.